We're a little over 2 weeks away from tax time. Is it time to panic?
No, there's still time to pull the papers together. But what we're going to talk about a lot is what you can do to make sure you're ready, more ready for next year, and don't have to sit down and go through that shoebox or that pile of receipts or the filing cabinet. So there's several different tools that I brought here and ways to help you be more prepared for next year.
Being organized, that's the key.
That's right.
So what should you do?
Well, there's a variety. I mean, you can use the shoebox, but if you're going to use shoebox, make sure that all that goes in there is tax information. Don't put every receipt that you ever get. Just put the tax information in there. That's not the best, but it's a tried and true method, and there's still a lot of people that utilize the shoebox.
And most of the papers come after the first of the year that you need, the interest statements, that sort of thing.
Right.
Are there things during the year that should go in here?
Any charitable receipts, so if you're making any donations, or whether it's a cash donation, do a copy of your check. If they're not sending you a receipt, right now they're required by law anything over $250 to send you a tax receipt that you can put in there. And so, setting up, whether it can be a hanging file, I personally like these. They're, manila folders, but they're sleeves so that the things can't slip out. So once you pop them in there, so that anything that you get, you can just put in there. Most people don't have a big variety of things. They just have the basics, your W-2s from your employer, maybe some investments, some charitable. If you own a home, you have some mortgage receipts. If you do own a business, put those in another manila envelope or hanging file system. And if you do have rental property, get those separated out because they're going to go on different schedules when you do your taxes or when you hand them over to somebody.
And we'll post it here to keep that up to date?
Right. Make sure you want to make sure you label. Mark, I always talk about that. You want to get them contained and you want to get them labeled. So that's one way to do it. And throughout the year, you can set up and have some files set up for the different types of things as well. So I brought that as an example. If you do work with somebody, and you had mentioned too, you work with somebody, they send out these wonderful envelopes that say, okay, do you have, and put those things in there. So that's what I do with mine. Those smaller ones, my other business stuff won't fit in here, but those basic ones that come for the mortgage, W-2s, investment statements, I put all of those in there because they're smaller and there's just a little thin piece to pop in there. And then have one location that you're going to put them so that when they do come in, okay, that file is in the desk drawer, or even if it happens to just be laying in a drawer in the kitchen so that you know that you can go ahead and just pop those right in there.
What do people often overlook that they could deduct or have a tax break on?
I think charitable contributions are one that people really miss out on. If you are donating physical items to, Goodwill, St. Vincent's, all the different, hospice here in town, because there's a wonderful program. It's right online and it's free. It's called It's Deductible. And when you donate those physical things, it's always hard to come up with a value for that. Mm-hmm. This program, right online, you enter all of your stuff and it comes up with what that amount is that you can actually deduct on your taxes. And paying attention too with charitable deductions, because there are some charities that are not deductible. And unfortunately, many of those are like our veterans. I'm trying to think of some other ones, disabled vets, Veterans of America. Those are actually not a charitable organization. So you want to be careful if you want to deduct it to make sure that they do meet the requirements. And you can find a lot of that on the government website, irs.gov.
And the IRS is cracking down from what I understand.
They're getting a little more, stringent with that and really taking a look of what are those charitable deductions. That's a big one. Also, we have so many teachers in the state of Wisconsin. Another thing for teachers to pay attention to, or anybody, if you have out-of-pocket expenses that you do not get reimbursed for, many of the school districts do not reimburse teachers if they go and buy extra crayons and paper and things like that. And those are deductible on a Schedule A if you're able to do a Schedule A. So pay attention to that as well and take advantage of that.
And be organized.
And be organized, absolutely. Because then it takes a lot less time.
Nancy, thanks.
You're welcome.